Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's episode we're going to be talking all about WebTV on the Sega Dreamcast. Now, this was something that I briefly mentioned towards the end of my full video on WebTV, which you can check out here if you missed it. And basically, in yet another case of Japan getting cool stuff, Microsoft released this CD back in the late 90s to allow Dreamcast users to connect to WebTV. This was only available in Japan, and the cool thing was, this disc was completely free to get. All you had to do was mail in a postcard, or if you didn't have one of those, send an email to an address on the Japanese WebTV site with your shipping info, and they would send one of these off to you. So the disc itself, as it says on the back here, is not for sale. But obviously, as was the case with regular WebTV set-top boxes, you had to pay a monthly subscription to actually access and use WebTV. Now, the disc itself, there were a couple of variants of it. This is the original version. There was also a later version that supported going to websites that utilized 128-bit SSL encryption. And all of this was made possible because of the Dreamcast support for Windows CE, as is proudly printed on the front of the console right there. And this is one of those Dreamcast titles that, as it says, is powered by Windows CE. Now, without going into too much detail here, Microsoft worked with Sega during the Dreamcast development to create a specialized version of Windows CE specifically for the console. But in reality, only a handful of Sega Dreamcast titles utilized Windows CE because many developers preferred to use Sega's own proprietary tools instead. And speaking of Sega, they had their own web-focused Dreamcast disc as well, called the Dream Passport. I've got version 2 of it here. I also have version 3, and perhaps we'll have to take a look at these in a future video. So WebTV was not the only way to experience browsing the web on a Japanese Sega Dreamcast, but it was one of the ways you could do so. Now, of course, these discs are all region locked, and I don't have a Japanese Dreamcast, so you might be wondering, first of all, did we get something like this in the West? Well, yes, we did. It wasn't called Dream Passport, it was called the Dreamcast web browser, and it was not exactly the same thing, but it was very similar. But regarding region locking, yes, I'm not going to be able to boot this WebTV disc up because it's not going to be able to run in this North American Dreamcast. So you might be wondering, how are we going to experience WebTV on the Dreamcast? Well, we're going to use that same custom server that I mentioned in my last Dreamcast, or Flash Dreamcast, my main WebTV video, because the developers of that custom server, Jarhead and Nitrate92, have created a modified version of the Dreamcast WebTV disc to work with their custom server, and they've also translated a lot of the Japanese text into English that will make it a lot easier for us to navigate around in the software. So I've got that disc right here, but before we boot this up, I would like to open this up because this is sealed if you haven't already noticed. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of briefly open this and explore what you would have received if you ordered one of these, or rather requested one of these from Microsoft in Japan back in the late 1990s. So let's go ahead and just see if we can tear the shrink wrap here. There we go. Well, there's no turning back now. Just take it off there, and let's open this up for the very first time. So there is the disc itself, of course all in Japanese, so I don't know exactly what it says, but you know, it's just probably says Microsoft WebTV connection disc, all that good stuff. And we do have a rather thick user's guide slash manual here, if I can get it out of the jewel case. There's that one page on the bottom that's being kind of stubborn. There we go. So we'll slide that out here, and we'll set the disc aside for now, and we'll flip through this manual a little bit. So here it is. Got the nice Dreamcast logo up there. And ooh, check this out. What is this? Interesting. Is this for... Oh, you know what? This is probably for the Sega Dreamcast keyboard. A little overlay for probably the function key row. Yes, if you didn't know, the Sega Dreamcast had a keyboard and mouse that you could purchase. Unfortunately, I don't have those, but you can use WebTV with the regular Dreamcast controller just fine. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I was not expecting that to be in here. But yeah, we'll take a look at the manual here. So you got a little table of contents. We do have some English text, kind of sprinkled in with all the Japanese. And we got some screenshots here. If there have not been scans of this manual, I could definitely scan these in and upload them to the Internet Archive. I'll have to search around and see if somebody has already done that. But yeah, so we've got some images of, this is the main menu. We've got some images of WebTV. You can kind of make out WebTV Special right there. That's interesting. It tells you how to use the controller. You've got, I guess this is the on-screen keyboard that would show up. And here is, yep, that was exactly right. There you go. So that's to put over the function keys, this little keyboard thing here that we just talked about. So yeah, it kind of breaks down the keyboard for you and tells you what all the keys do, you know, when you're connected to WebTV. You've got some more screenshots here. Probably got some health and safety stuff as well. It tells you how to put the game disc in. You got some, this is like the user account creation process. You've got some more screenshots of that. Yeah, definitely pretty cool. It's nice, of course, that they go into so much detail about all this. And yeah, back here you probably just got your regulatory, copyright stuff, you know, legal disclaimers, at least I would guess. All that good stuff. So yeah, there you go. That's a little brief flip through of the WebTV booklet slash manual thing. And now let me make sure to put this back in the booklet. Let's go ahead and I'll get my Dreamcast set up on that lovely symphonic CRT TV from the last video, and we will connect this thing to the custom server. Oh boy, here we go. Gosh, what a classic, the Dreamcast startup screen. I was more of a Nintendo person when I was younger, so I never really used the Dreamcast as a primary console, but ever since I got this thing, probably like 8 years ago now, it's been fun to turn on and just mess around with every once in a while. So yeah, you saw there we got the screen with the Sega logo, and it says powered by Windows CE, and we should... There we go. Got that little intro jingle there. This will look familiar from what you saw in the manual. This is that little start screen, the main menu of sorts. So, Microsoft Web TV Connection Kit, got a little piece of background music going on. And yeah, as I said, a lot of the Japanese, not all of it, but I'm pretty sure most of it has been translated to English, which is really great. So the really cool thing is, of course, yes, we can connect to the WebTV custom server, and that setup process is exactly the same. We use DreamPi. I've got that modem and the line voltage inducer hooked up. We just got it plugged into the Dreamcast, the phone line, instead of the WebTV box, obviously. But aside from connecting to the custom server, there's also this offline demo on here, which is pretty cool, and we're going to jump into that first before we connect to the custom server, because I mean, the custom server, you guys already saw that from the last video, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, but we will connect to it and go through it briefly. But we're just going to go down the list here and start with what's WebTV. Let's find out what WebTV is. I've been wondering that myself. So it says it'll show you all the functions of the WebTV service one by one. After completing this guide, you'll be ready to join the world of WebTV, which is easy, convenient, and fun. So we got introduction, home, email, explore, and oh, there's a lot of things in here. We got search, favorites. It's just a little tutorial thing. You would definitely want to go through this if you had no idea what WebTV was and were kind of curious. But what is this karaoke TV? You can use karaoke TV to enjoy karaoke on the internet. It's sold separately. Okay. So that's rather interesting. I've not really heard of that before. Perhaps it was an exclusive to WebTV Japan. Supports the latest formats. So I believe this disc is from a modified version. Yeah, so it says also supports features such as SSL. So this is definitely one from the, 128-bit SSL. So this is that newer disc that I had mentioned earlier on. So this is a modified version of that. So we'll go back here, we'll just go to the main menu, and let's go into the offline demo. So this would be really useful just to give you a little taste of WebTV without actually connecting to it if you didn't have your connection set up for whatever reason. So the interface here on the main menu noticeably is a bit different from the custom server's main menu interface. I assume it's from a little bit of a different era. Perhaps the Japanese WebTV interface was always a little bit different from the North American one. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, you've got some of the same options up here: mail, favorites, and search. Explore, this was replaced with, I believe, the community button, where you get access to page builder and the chat room rooms and all of that. So this is, I assume, as it says up there at the top right, a little guide to the web with some different categories here. You've got some images over here, a Volvo ad there at the bottom, participate in Japan's largest game magazine. Oh, let's see what that's about. Why not? Oh, look at that. Okay, so yeah, not everything is downloaded and stored on the disk, so you would have to connect to WebTV. Yeah, so let's go maybe down to travel here. And one thing I did notice when I was going over this off camera is not every single page has been fully translated. So you see this here is still all in Japanese. So let's go down to the only piece of English text we have on the screen, which is this tips button down here. I assume these are going to be some tips, some travel tips perhaps. That would make sense. And I think this here is that WebTV special thing that we saw in the manual. Yeah, with the globe here. So we got some options. Let's go into this one here. Oh yeah, so this definitely has not been translated yet. So let's pull out Google Translate. Collection of game-related sites. Offline demo is as of December 1998. Data is what it's collected. Latest information is on the company's website. Okay. Let's see what these options are. So this over here roughly translates to Dreamcast Special Magazine Information. Okay. Here's a collection of Dreamcast magazine sites. Read and compare each site. Magazine is a bit game savvy to explore the differences in orientation and game evaluation. Just various resources. Let's go to a Dreamcast Press here if I can actually... Oh, those aren't buttons, I don't think. Like, I think they probably were buttons at one point, but they aren't anymore because I'm trying to move and you hear that sound effect? That's the you can't do that sound effect, a little error sound. So I assume at one point those might have been buttons like on the original disc, and when you would click on it, it would take you to whatever website that is. Or maybe it's just a static image and it was always a static image. But yeah, so that's a little WebTV special screen. Let's go back to the... Oh, I just hit the start button. That'll bring us back to the way beginning. Let's go back to the offline demo. I want to see what this Dreamcast thing is here. Dreamcast World regularly publishes various pieces of information related to Dreamcast. We plan to cover everything related to Dreamcast, such as the latest game production status. Okay. So it's an advertisement or this little info about Dreamcast World. Let's go to, I mean, we went to Explore. Let's go to Mail. I wonder if they've got like a few sample messages in here. Here, by viewing data on the disk, you can experience the mail function of WebTV. You cannot actually receive or send emails, of course. So you got some, oh, from Steve Perlman. Look at that. Welcome to WebTV. Are you playing? So presumably a little message from your friend saying like, oh, I just bought a Dreamcast too. Cool. So, and then DC Mailing Club. It's been 4 months since Dreamcast was released. It seems that the shortage of consoles at release has disappeared. Sales are still strong. So yeah, you got some sample messages in here. Let's see what happens when you try to write a message. Ooh. Will it bring up... Oh, there's the on-screen keyboard. Yeah, check that out. So it is different here in the Dreamcast version. This is definitely... like the one we saw in those screenshots in the instruction booklet. It is interesting that they went with a different keyboard, like an entirely different design. We got search. Here you can see search without being connected to WebTV. However, you can't actually search for stuff, of course. So, looks like you have a default string in here. Intelligent search service from InfoSeek. You've got Alaska, plus Italian food, plus pasta. It's quite a combination there. So, we can search for that. And of course, it won't actually do anything. Oh! Well, maybe it will. Okay, I guess they have this one search term loaded in here so you can search it and get like a preview of what the search experience is like. And it looks like community has been moved over here to the sidebar. So let's go into there. I wonder if they've got... Oh, they don't have page builder in here, so it's just chat and discuss. I wonder if they've got like sample chat rooms in here. Food room, soccer room, hot spring room. Full of information on Japanese hot springs. Feature is not active on the simulated service. Okay, are any of these active? Let's see, maybe the food room is. Okay, it looks like the food room is. Okay, it is. And look at that, you got like a simulation of people chatting in here. Topic, Osaka food? And can we actually send a message? Oh, you can't even send it. Oh, that sucks. Well, at least they've got like people chatting in here. Yeah, next up, our second to last thing on this list is using the controller. which, yes, I've been using the Dreamcast controller for this entire demo so far, which I much prefer to using the WebTV remote, which was definitely a lot of fun to do in the main WebTV video, especially the playing Doom portion. Like, holy cow, that was quite an experience. And if you're saying they made Doom for WebTV, oh yeah, they did. And I tried to play it in that other video with the WebTV remote, which was literally one of the funniest things I think I've done in a while. So yeah, let's go ahead and without any further ado, connect to the custom server. So of course it'll tell us you have to register for an account, which we'll have to do once we connect for the first time. So let's hit register, and there we go, we're dialing. And there we go. So the instructions here still correspond to the remote control. So we'll hit continue here, and it should bring us to the registration screen. The publisher of that page kept you waiting with no response for more than a minute. Okay, that's interesting. Let's just try it again. WebTV ran into a technical problem. Oh, this is exciting. I've not experienced this before. So I guess we can't... Can we hit start here? No? Maybe we can't... Can we actually not get past this screen? Huh, that's interesting. This is my first time connecting to the custom server on a Dreamcast, by the way. So this is definitely rather interesting. Let's maybe try and just restart the Dreamcast and connect again. Alright, we're back online. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. Alright, now it worked. So, we don't have a keyboard in this case, unfortunately. But, yeah, so we're going to continue. Of course, cost $0 per month. We're going to type in our first name. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's switch to ABC. So I think we'll go with the first name as Dreamcast. And we'll hit done. And we'll continue. Let's just put the yen symbol as the last name. Why not? And we'll say done. And we'll hit continue. Although, does it support characters for... Oh, I guess it does. Alright. And internet name, we'll just do... I wonder if Dreamcast is taken. And we'll hit done. And we'll continue. Yeah, it looks like that's not taken. Alright. Oh, and look at that. They just updated the terms of service. Huh. Only a couple days ago, yeah, November 13th, because this used to say, like, January something 2022, so they've already done some updates in here. And I guess it'd be worth mentioning again that this custom server, as of me recording this video, is not publicly available, but there are plans for... Oh no, it's doing this again. Oh no. Oh, that sucks. Ran into a technical problem. Okay, let's try to go back and maybe... I'm gonna try to turn this off and turn it back on and go through this whole process again. Yay, there we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, so it is different on the Dreamcast. Okay. I was kind of expecting it to be the same interface as we saw in the other video, but it is just like the offline demo, the same layout. And you got this WebTV store. Oh my gosh, look at this. Nah, you don't want a WebTV. Okay, so they've got some of the funny message boxes in here. What do you mean, Dreamcast? I absolutely love these message boxes that they've got in here. They're so good. Let's go to mail, and let's see if that same sample message from Jarhead is in here. I would assume it is. Yeah, there it is. Welcome to WebTV. So I wonder if you can access Page Builder from here as well. Can you go to Community, and let's see... Oh yeah, they've got it. So Page Builder. Okay, so this is the same as what we saw in the other video. So we could make a website if we wanted to. And why don't we... I wonder how you get to that menu bar. Y maybe? You know, A is going to go into there. Maybe hit the start button. No? How do you get access to the home menu? Or maybe that isn't available in here. Oh, maybe it's... there it is. It's the right shoulder button. So it brings up a little menu bar here. And let's go to a website, why not? Let's go to the old net, because what else are we going to do? I gotta say, I much prefer using the Dreamcast controller over the WebTV remote. I know I've already said that, but it is rather nice. .com, C-O-M, and let's hit done, and let's go to page. Yay, there we go. We might have to go to the light page here again because a lot of these images are not animating like they should be. So we'll go to the light page. There we go. So why don't we go to, I wonder if they will have this archived, webtv.co.jp, which is of course the Japanese WebTV site. Let's go to that in 1999. Let me see if they have this archived. Looks like they do. Thanks, archive.org. Always a savior. I mean, seriously, the amount of stuff they have archived is nuts, and they do some amazing work over there. I mean, the old net too, but of course the old net pulls from the Internet Archive. So yeah, here is webtv.co.jp on some day in 1999. It looks like it doesn't display Japanese text properly. That's interesting. So yeah, we'll just back out of that. I mean, that's the old net, that's browsing the web. I mean, I know I've already mentioned it a few times, but if you want a full deep dive on this custom server and everything that it has to offer, because there's a lot to talk about. I mean, the video is like over an hour long. I'll have that down below if you want to go check it out. But either way, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, all that good stuff. And a huge thank you again to Jarhead and Nitrate92 for giving me early access to their really awesome custom server. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next video.